Hey everybody, welcome back to Blackpool Studio. Today I'm starting on another end table or side table or whatever. This time it's going to be out of walnut. So I've got these, I ran them through the joiner and through the planer. Got them as square as I can get them. Everything's looking good. Drew a rough line where my circle's going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and get my panel clamps up here and get these glued up. So I'm going to spread these out here where I can get good pressure on the ends. The domino, I think, more than anything is just helping me line this up where I've got a good smooth top. This is going to be a round top. I've got my center already marked here. I used my compass thing here that you put a pencil in, and I just went around and got the general direction of it. So I'll go ahead and glue this up. I've got my Gorilla Glue here. Get all the bottle boogers off, and I'll be back when I get this done. But now we have to figure out how we're going to do the legs, because like I said, I messed up when I was cutting and milling this and forgot that the top part of the leg is supposed to be like 6 or 7 inches, and all I have are these 3 5/8 ish. I need to figure out, I've got one straight edge, which is this edge. These have been jointed, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull off of this edge and lay out my curve. And I think what I'm going to do is I'll put an inside, just a real slight inside curve, and then the outside I'll kind of mirror it. The original top was 16 inches, and I've done this. I'm going to do this one right at 18. I'm going to go ahead and lay these out. Well guys, it's a new day, different shirt. We're going to pull this panel out of the clamps and see how we did. This is just a cheapo chisel I've had for years. Just kind of go along here and get some of the glue off of it. I'm going to take and screw this block down. I'm going to do one here and one here, and that'll keep it from getting away from me. Alright, so that's not going to go anywhere, I don't think. So I'm going to grab my circle jig and show you how this works. There's part of it. Okay, so you take the base off your router here. So I've got this marked with a black marker which holes need to be lined up. Alright, so now it's on here, but it can move a little bit. It's not a whole lot. So this little doohickey here goes right in or do I got it back? Yeah, I had it upside down. So it just turns like that. And then this, I don't know if you can see that or not, this is a locating thing. So you put this in like you would a bit. You don't got to tighten it down real tight, but you do want it snug so it's not flopping around. And then what you do You just slide your base on there and get it to where it needs to be. Then we take the base off. And we're done with this for now. And we're done with this. So I've got my center marked right here. I'm going to take this. I've got a little drill bit that comes with the kit. And I'll put a link in the description to the kit if you folks are interested. You don't got to go very deep. We put our screw right there. That's it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get this mounted. There's arrows on here that you line up. There's 3 sets of them. And then you just turn it half a turn. And that's it. I'm setting this to where I can get as much of a circle as I can out of this without going outside the circle. Now I got to get a battery and get my PPE on, and we'll start cutting this. I probably won't cut this all the way through. I'll leave just a little bit and take it off at the bandsaw, because I don't want to cut into my table. I don't have a spoil board on here, and I don't have anything else to keep me from cutting into my table. Guys, I got to admit, I walked around for about 5 minutes looking for my safety glasses, and I couldn't find them. They was on my head. Okay, so my charger obviously didn't charge last night, so I grabbed another battery, and I think we're good to go. So let me get this going. So next thing I want to do is these little battery operated routers. They are just as handy as a pocket on a shirt. A lot of people say, well, DeWalt's kind of pricey. If you haven't ever heard of Woot, it's a sister company of Amazon. A lot of times you can find these pretty cheap. I think I gave like $100 for this one. Same with my jigsaw. Pretty much all except for the drill and drivers. I got those at Home Depot years ago, but I've got an angle grinder, got this and this. And I think my wife got a leaf blower. All of it we got on Woot for really affordable. So I'm going to go ahead and go around this with the jigsaw. I was going to use the bandsaw, but the jigsaw's right here. And then I'll show you how we're going to clean this up and make it all smooth. Okay, so these are pattern cutting bits, and these are nice because they've got a bottom and a top bearing, so you can either put your pattern on the bottom or the top, and these both of them will come off, so you can have one or the other. But what I'm going to do is I will take, and this set come with 3, so I'll just take, and I will, you can see it's got we've got like flashing. I'll just take and run that bit down about halfway and let this bearing right on here. And these have a mark. I don't know if you can see this or not. Where's my camera at? It looks like a K, but that's where you want to sink your bit to. There's a line with a little arrow. I'm going to go ahead and change my bit. You can tell my table's not level here yet, but I'm going to change the bit out, and we'll put a chamfer on this side of it. Alright, so I got a nice chamfer on there. I like that. I think it looks pretty good. I'm going to lay out for my legs roughly. I haven't got the legs cut yet, so I'm just going to mark the position of them. But to do that, you got to know the center of your circle, which I do. It's right here. And what I'm going to use is, first of all, I'm going to take and I'm going to mark a line all the way across. There's a boo-koodles of videos on YouTube to show you how to find the center of a circle. So I've got this thing. This is what I used yesterday to lay out so I could make sure I had the everything in the right place. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my point to the outside, and my pencil will be in here, and I'm just going to take and do like this. And this probably is easier with a string. But these 3 points are 120 degrees apart, and that's where my legs will go. They'll go. So what I'm going to do is I'll put my straight edge right there where that hits. I'll draw a line. Straight edge here where that hits. Strike a line. 120 degrees. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So I'm going to come down I think about 2 inches. I'm pulling off of this side over here because this is a rough side. I didn't join it because I knew it was going to be cut off. So I'm going to do that. All right, so if y'all don't have some of these are handy to have. These are little setup blocks. They're marked. I don't know if you can see it on there or not. They're marked with the thickness, and they just make setting stuff up a lot easier. So I'm going to set my marking gauge to 1/4 inch. Go ahead and mark my line there. I've got my 2-inch line here. I'm going to find a curve that I like. I think I want the bottom of the feet to be about maybe 1.5 inches. I think that will look symmetrical. It'll look good. Sometimes you got to just kind of play with this stuff and eyeball it, see what you think. All right, there's 1.5 inches, and I'll put 1.5 inches line up here. And then I'll take my straight edge here. Put it on that mark and that mark. And I'll strike a line. Okay. And then I think that this will look good. But if I wanted it to be different, I could use the inside of this and do that. That'd be a little bit tighter of a curve. Or if I wanted it to be a little bit bigger, I could use this tub here that tape come out of. And actually, I think I like that better. Alright, so what I've got is I put my blocks on here to keep this secured. Then I've used some double-sided tape, and I changed the base back to my factory base. And I've got it to where when I set this up like this, it's exactly 1/4 inch and 3/16 deep. And I did have to adjust this after I changed the base because this base isn't as thick as the other one. So let's see how we did. And that's one full tenon done. Well, I'll have to do the edge. I'll do the edge probably with a chisel and my little pull saw, maybe. I don't know. But I'm gonna get the rest of these done, and then I'll come back and we'll lay out our leg, our tenon. Words are hard. We'll lay out our mortises for the tenons. Go ahead and lay these out real quick. So if you remember, I've got one side that was jointed that's nice and square, and that's what I'm referencing off of. And I done a compound curve just because I thought it gave a little bit more interest, and when I get the round over on there, I think it'll make it look a lot nicer. Okay, so I've got these laid out. I cut this on the bandsaw and it come out pretty good. I hit it just a little bit with the spoke shave just to get rid of some of the mill marks, but I think sanding done just as good. Okay, so what I got here is a 3/8 round over, so it's a little bit heavier than what I put on this to begin with, but I think that I'm gonna like the way it looks better. routed the first mortise here. I thought I had filmed it, but this is a perfect example of right here. Check out where you're cutting before you cut when you laying stuff out. There's a knot right there that's killing me. But got this new corner chisel. You can see that or not, but seems to work pretty good. All right, let's see how we did. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so I'm just going to take and put a slight chamfer on this, just so it goes in a little bit easier when I do the glue up. I got to looking online and was shopping at Grizzly, and I come across these beading bits. Show you what I'm going to do to the legs instead of just the plain round over. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I'm going to put some beads on it. These are, what size? This is, says 13/16 diameter. I don't even know if it's that big. It's pretty small. No, I'm sorry. That's the one I'm going to, this one is, well, 1/4 inch beads. This is going to go on the outside of the legs, but on the top I just put a real slight round over on the top. But after looking at this is the bigger bead. Where's my camera at? This is the bigger bead, and I think I'm going to do that on the top. If you haven't ever done much with making stuff with profiles with a router, once you get a profile set up on a piece that you like, make a story stick. Take and write on it what it is, and then when you go to reset it, all you got to do is set it on there and lock it in. That's my tip of the day. Yeah, I think I kind of like that. Okay, wonder of wonders. I was vacuuming up the dust from that last cut, and I looked down and well, my microphone had got knocked on the floor behind some stuff that I just couldn't see. So all right, let's start routing this. One thing I don't like about this little router is the switch. For me, it's hard to find. It's awkward. Other than that, I really like it. All right, so there you go. Looks like I had a little bit of tear out. Not much I can do about that. But so I think that's going to look really good. See what it looks like on this table. Okay. Got the little hole in the top fixed. We've got our profile on the edge. Got the profile on the legs, inside and out. As Siri would say, we went to Menards. First we went and got some excellent Mexican food. And then we went to Menards and I got some 5-minute epoxy. I dug out my pigments. Oops, we'll just put a few drops. I debated on using like coffee brown, but I think the black is probably a better option. I hope this sets up. always get impatient and don't mix it the way it's, as long as it says to do. And I have had it not set up right, but if it doesn't set up, I'll scrape it off and do it again. There's a little dot right there. We'll just... Okay, so the resin has cured. I'm just using a chisel here. Don't hate me in the comments. This is one of my good ones, but it's all right. I can sharpen it. Just using a chisel to shave off some of it before I start sanding, because I don't want to have to sand so much. I've already got most of it off. Here on the top, I had some tear out when I planed this. So what I've done is I've kind of color matched a piece off of the same board, and I'm going to make a little Dutchman. I've scored it with my knife here. Let's see if I can get this to show you. So this is on the right track, but I think what I'm going to do is move it over. Take and just cut this off to this glue joint. That way it'll match up, and then I can just cut another dark piece for this side over here. I don't like doing it in two pieces, but I think it's going to look better, so let's do that. Alright, so I'm just going to put a generous amount of glue in here. Shoot. I've got through all the grits. I've just sanded it to 120. That's about as high as I'm going to go on it. And I water popped it. As you can see, it's still a little bit damp. Waiting on that to dry. And then we'll start with I'll do a final sand. And then we'll start assembly. Okay, so got the sanding done. Is it perfect? No. It is what it is. It's handcrafted. Going over it with a tack cloth. But first I'm gonna clean off an area here and make sure it's pristine. Nothing on here that's gonna ding the top of this up. So let me clean this up, and then we'll start gluing it up. So I'm gonna put some glue in. I've got one of these glue bots. I got this at Grizzly. It's identical to the brand name glue bot, but it was a couple bucks cheaper. Okay, so the only thing left is to do it. Alright, so I'm going to slather that all around. And then put some on the tenon itself. So I've got a piece of material on top holding the legs down, and a full propane cylinder holding it down. I took a piece of offcut and I routed this profile on it, and then I ripped that off of the bandsaw, and I just made this what looks like little bitty teeny tiny shoe mold. Okay, so let me show you. So this is going to sit in there like this. I'll miter it and just wrap it around the corner. And of course, about the time I start talking, the sirens go off and the neighbor's dogs go crazy, but that's what it's going to look like. Alright, so I'm doing the old glue the white glue. Just putting a few dots on here of the white glue, and then I'm putting a couple of dots of CA glue, and I'll hit some activator there, and we'll press that into position and just hold it and not glue my fingers to it like that. And that's trimmed. So I'll have to come back and clean that glue off and straighten up these corners. It's really difficult to miter and cut these corners because this is so small. It's difficult to do it without having it in a jig or something. So I'm just going to take and trim it like this, and I'll have to do a little bit of sanding, but it'll be all right. So once I sand that and get the glue off, I'm just going to use this little bitty chisel here to scrape that glue before it gets set up. And I had yeah, there we go. All right, so I don't know if you can see that or not, but on this, but that's it. But I put this trim around. I just done it on 3 sides because I didn't really have enough and I didn't want to make another stick of it, but I blended it in on the back side to where I think it looks all right. Again, it's the bottom of the table, so nobody's really going to look at it. I'll know it's there, but that's my burden to bear. So now I'm going to take and wipe this down one more time with a tack cloth, and I think we're about ready for finish. So I think, let me get a stick here. I think what I'm going to do is just stir this up, and here comes the magic. I'm just going to rub this in by hand and hope that it will set up by itself without the catalyst. Well, it didn't seem to go as far without the catalyst for some reason. So I don't know if I can order just the catalyst from this company or not. I'm gonna have to see if I can contact them online or something, because this is disappointing. But there's no denying that this walnut is absolutely beautiful with this on here. Okay, so this is the finished product. Some more. Again, is it perfect? No, it's not. but it's a learning. We're always learning stuff as we learn to do woodworking. But the missus says that since it's not perfect, we can keep it instead of selling it. So if you like this, if you got value out of this, please like and subscribe.